Good morning. Time to get up and see what it's like to be an indie game artist. I start my day at 7 AM, get cleaned up, then walk the dog in the park. We live near a beautiful park with a river along the side, which is a great place to wake up, get some exercise, and make sure our puppy is going to be calm and cooperative for the rest of the day. She says hello to her friends, and we have a nice peaceful start to the day. Come on. Once I'm back home, I get some breakfast and caffeine up. I love this French press coffee because it's nice and smooth, and I can try different flavours every so often. I get to my desk by about 8:30 and start my workday off. Today we're doing environment design for my game Orbo. It's my newest project that's currently preparing for early access. It's a 2D platformer with a really cool art style, so I spend a lot of time in Unity designing backgrounds and decorations to make this world come alive. Here we are inside Unity, and you can see there's a lot going on. It took me quite a while to get to grips with this engine, but it's not so hard once you're used to it. At the bottom here, we have all the art that goes into the game. The process of environment design is basically going room by room and dropping art into the correct layers to make it look like a spaceship. I make sure to playtest often while I'm working to make sure things work as I intend, and that all the layers move around correctly. The big picture of this job is to create seamless backgrounds for the game that immerse the player but don't overwhelm them. So that means keeping a close eye on focal points, decoration density, and gameplay. We have lots of layers, and I use these to create the feel for the area I want. Here, I want the player to feel closed in, so I use foreground elements like wires, chains, and cogs to make the area feel claustrophobic, but not cover any gameplay elements like buttons and platforms. If something isn't working, I often delete everything and start again. This is an important part of the process, because finding the right design for each room isn't always straightforward. With each level being split into rooms like this, I need to keep the flow of art from one room to the next consistent and in keeping with the challenge presented to the player. This room is filled with those dangerous cogs, so I want there to be lots of mechanical elements in the design, like these pistons and mechanical arms. I'm happy with this room, and it's about time for lunch, so I finish up by tidying the scene and saving. One final playtest through the whole room makes sure I'm happy with everything before uploading it. Because I'm working with a coder in Portugal, we share our progress via the GitLab. We stay in touch via Discord to coordinate and ensure that we're not undoing each other's progress. At lunchtime, I do some exercise. I tend to sit down for long periods of time, so to keep my spine from fusing to my chair, I keep active. Running is great for my brain as well, and can help solve problems or form ideas in a different environment. After lunch, we have a short meeting to go over the project's status. Today we talked about the boss fight we're working on, and identified some animations that I need to go over another time. We share a Trello board to track all of our tasks and to keep tabs on things. Game dev can become overwhelming, and you have to manage your creativity, so having a place to write down all your ideas is really important. Afterwards, I start work on some new art assets. There's lots of areas in our game, and each one has a unique aesthetic, but they all remain the same style, from overgrown greenhouses and frozen elevator shafts, to warehouses and engineering bays. All the art for these is handcrafted for the area it will be used in, and we use animations and scripts to bring the art to life and make the ship feel like a living world. It all begins with concept art. I start on my iPad in Procreate, and use a screenshot of the game as a base. I begin by blocking in shapes and ideas for a new decoration for the engineering bay. We need something that can fit into the current area and fill in lots of space without looking too flashy. I land on this lava storage tank to go with the lava waterfalls that we already have, and some modular pipes to fill large areas in with easily. Creating the final asset on new layers, I make a window to see the lava through and some lights and screens to flicker. I make sure to add that Orbo feel by using textures, weathering, and some motifs from the rest of the game, like the heavy beveled edges and hazard strips. I use these design cues to make sure that the art fits the style when I make something new. I check that everything works in Procreate by testing different orientations and compositions. Then, I organise all the assets into a sprite sheet, which is like a sticker sheet, and send that over to Unity as a PNG. Inside Unity, I cut out all these drawings and turn them into prefabs. A prefab is simply a pre-made object which can be used over and over again. I make this lava tank into a prefab by putting each element in the correct place and adding all the scripts to bring it to life, like a light flicker and some particles. I then go into the game and test it works. It looks perfect, so I'm happy. After work is done, my wife and I walk the dogs again. This time we walk both of them, Phoebe the Cocker Spaniel and Morty the Chihuahua. This is our time to decompress after work, take in some nature, and get the dogs ready for their dinner. As you can see, Morty is wearing the cone of shame right now. Don't worry, he's making a full recovery after a little surgery. And he's pretty happy, even with it on. After dinner, we chill on the sofa and watch some Netflix together. I also do some sketching during this time while I relax. This isn't anything serious, but it helps me keep sharp and on top of my other projects. I use this time to formulate ideas and work on my drawings before bed. I hope you enjoyed this little peek into my life as an indie game developer. I thought this would be a fun video to make, because before I jumped in, I had no idea what making games looked like at all. If you want to play Orbo, we have a demo available on Steam. Wishlisting is also really helpful to us. If you like this video, please consider subscribing and giving it a like. If you really want to support me, I have a Patreon where you can access early videos and much more. There's a link for that in the description. Thanks for watching, Ed.